This tactic helped the mid-table team Salisbury get into the promotion playoff final, and it also makes your wingers play a pass rather than just shoot. Even the fullbacks play the pass. We also have a playoff final coming up against Maidenhead, and we're going to look at that final to see how the game actually goes. Hopefully, we will get promoted into the upper division. Let's see how Salisbury turned out with this tactic.
We did quite well in the league, finishing in third place despite being predicted to finish in 10th. And although we did lose 10 games, we scored 96 goals, which was probably the highest amount of goals in the league, just 4 shy of 100 goals. And we're undefeated in our last 5 games towards the end of the season. But we didn't win the league, so we had to settle for a promotion place.
It's not a classic 4-4-2, it's slightly more defensive, but we make up for that in most of the attacking player instructions. We'll start off with the goalkeeper first, and let's go through the in-possession instructions. If you look at the goalkeeper setup in possession, the goalkeeper is set up to be a ball-playing goalkeeper. Now, I know in the lower leagues, you may not really find somebody that is going to be super capable to be a ball-playing goalkeeper, but trust me, it doesn't really matter that much. The reason why I opted for a ball-playing goalkeeper in this sense is because he's supposed to distribute the ball to either the fullbacks or the centre-backs, mostly the fullbacks. Out of possession, as we can see, he's going to be playing as a super keeper. This is to help us stop counter-attacks. If you go ahead and select the goalkeeper, the only instruction that he has is to take more risks. That's when he's in possession of the ball. When he's out of possession, there's no instruction for him. Now, for the lower leagues, I opted for fullbacks instead of wingbacks. The fullbacks both have internal player instructions, and they have been asked to shoot less often. This actually encourages the player to play a pass rather than just take shots at goal when he's not supposed to. He's also going to take a bit more risk with his passing, and he's also going to, if you look at his out of possession instruction, he's going to just tackle harder. You're not going to set mark tighter for him because you don't want him to get dragged out of position. So you're going to want to do this for both the fullbacks, left and the right hand side fullback. You're going to shoot less often and take more risk. For the fullback on the right, as Lee, you go ahead and check his instruction, shooting less often, taking more risk. Same thing as out of possession, tackle harder. Now for the centre backs, I opted for standard central defenders. This one is because I don't really want my players to do a bit much. I just want them to be safe options because we're in the lower league. If you notice, the goalkeeper is actually playing most of the passes to the fullbacks and not the centre backs. That is because I don't trust the centre backs in possession. Now look at the instructions. They're going to shoot less often, just like the fullbacks. They're also going to dribble less frequently. They're also going to make less forward runs. They will take more risks, so in case the ball does come to them, they're just going to hoof a long pass and try to find the ball forward. They're also going to be staying wider and trying to stretch the pitch, making it harder for the opposition to actually press them. When they're out of possession, then they're going to tackle harder. They're going to do this for both the centre-backs, the centre-back on the left and centre-back on the right. You can see the left-sided centre-back, he has the same instructions: stay wider, dribble less, make fewer runs, shoot less often, and take more risks. Out of possession is the same, tackle harder. Now in defensive midfield, a normal pairing would have been 2 defensive midfielders, but I needed to have somebody that was like a creator in the side and another one that's going to be a goal scorer. So I opted for a box-to-box playmaker and a box-to-box midfielder. Now the box-to-box playmaker is a creative threat, and I'm asking him to shoot less often and take more risk. That shoot less often instruction doesn't mean that he's not going to shoot. He will still shoot. It's just that he's going to do it less frequently than it normally would happen there from 2026. Now, out of possession, he's going to mark tighter and, of course, tackle harder. Now, when it comes to the box-to-box midfielder, the box-to-box midfielder is a goal threat and not a creative threat. He's going to do a bit more. He's going to take more forward runs. He's going to dribble a lot more, also roam from position. He's also going to shoot less often and, of course, take more risks. So, essentially, he's also going to do a bit more of what the playmaker does, but finishing it inside the box as well. Out of possession, he's going to do the same as press much more often, mark tighter, and tackle harder. Now we're getting to the most important roles in this tactic, the 2 wingers. Now, if you look at the 2 wingers, they have been set to just normal wingers, not wide midfielders. They both have the same instructions as well. They're going to stay wider, run wide with the ball. They're also going to dribble a lot more. And of course, really, really important in this, and I cannot emphasize it enough, shoot less often. They're also going to take a bit more risk. Now, when they're out of possession, they're going to press a bit more, mark tighter, and tackle harder. I did not really lock the marking target to either fullbacks or the opposition. I didn't really think that was necessary in this particular sense. So all I did was just to ask them to press, mark tighter, and of course, tackle harder. We'll look at most of the out of possession player roles for these guys because my game is not showing it as it should be here. Normally, one of them is playing as an outlet and the other is playing as a tracking midfielder. But we'll look at that in the out of possession roles. Now, if you go over to the attackers, we have 1 channel forward and 1 deep line forward. We didn't really start out like this at first. I had a target forward in there, but then I realized that this Bray guy was a lot faster than the other guy. He had like pace acceleration of 14 and 13. At some point, Bray was going to be alone up front, and the player that was supposed to be beside him was not going to be there, so he was basically just alone. I didn't really know what to do, so all I had to do was just tweak it and ask Bray, instead of being like out of possession, you notice that Bray is a tracking centre forward. Before, he was just a normal centre forward, and the tracking centre forward was on the other side. So the tracking centre forward was not fast enough to get back into attacking positions. So all I had to do was ask Bray, that is a channel forward that had a lot more speed, to be the tracking forward. So he would be enough to get back and then also be fast enough to get forward. So that was just a minor tweak that I made to the attackers. For internal player instructions, Bray being the channel forward on the left-hand side, the channel forward is going to move into channels, of course, dribble more, is also going to take a bit more risk. Now, out of possession, it's only going to mark tighter and tackle harder. Now, for his strike partner, you have a deep line forward, which is Taylor. He could be a target forward. You can use a target forward in this role or a deep line forward, but he's a slower player. So ideally, you want him to be just a normal striker, not really an outlet, because I noticed that an outlet needs to have speed. That was something I learned while playing this save. So you have dribble frequency is going to be dribble more, and it's also going to take a bit more risk because he's a deep line forward. He's also going to hold up the ball. That is a default instruction for him. Now, out of possession, he's going to mark tighter and tackle harder. If you look at his out of possession player role, he's playing as just a normal center forward, not a tracking or outlet center forward. So just normal. He's going to just do what he feels like, and then Bray is going to be the one that's going to track back. I already discussed that. Now, if you look at the two wingers, one of them is playing as an outlet. The outlet is on the same side as the normal striker. Normally, I would want it to be on the same side as the target or the tracking forward, because he could be free to go and attack. But I noticed that this sort of helped us because of the kind of players that I have inside the team. Now, for the defensive midfielders, I opted for a defensive midfielder normal for the role that is the box-to-box playmaker. He's going to act as a defensive midfielder when he's out of possession, and when he's in possession, he's going to be the box-to-box playmaker. But the wide defensive midfielder is going to be the box-to-box midfielder. So the box-to-box midfielder here is actually going to help out with the where the outlet is playing. So box-to-box midfielder out of possession, we already discussed, he's going to press a bit more often, mark tighter and tackle harder. But that is because the outlet is on this side. So what the box-to-box midfielder does is, if you go over to his player position, player role, box-to-box midfielder out of possession, if I could just find his role out of possession, just go over to, wide covering central defender. He's going to cover the wide areas when the outlet is up front. So you can see that he's going to be tracking back when the outlet is not helping out. He's going to be the one to cover that space. So the outlet has a lot more freedom to attack. That's what I noticed. And that's how it has been playing out inside the game for me. So without further ado, let's look at the team instructions. Now, because we are so defensive, the team instructions are a bit more attacking to actually help us get the ball forward. Starting from our build-up play, over to the goalkeeper is going to play through the press. He's going to play out of defense. So basically, we want him to play through the press. We also want him to play short passes, and he's going to distribute it to the fullbacks. Distribution speed, I didn't really notice any difference, whether putting it too quickly or too slowly. Just left it unbalanced and it was okay for us. If you look at the middle third now, what the team is going to do is actually going to try to encourage dribbling. We're also going to pass into space. For supporting runs, you want to actually check this and then turn on both flanks. The underlap is not going to show, so you really just leave it unbalanced, but you want to turn on overlap on both flanks. This overlap is important because the fullbacks are also going to get involved in the game. That is why I had my fullbacks get forward and also play those cutbacks into the box. For play-through direction, I kind of left it unbalanced. There was no need to go either left or right, but I noticed there was one particular game that their fullback of the opposition on the left hand or the right hand fullback was not playing so well. So what I did in that game was to turn on focus play down the left hand side, which is their right hand side, and it kind of helped us win the game. But it's something you have to watch during games and just tweak on your own. But normally, leaving it unbalanced allows you to choose when you're playing matches. Now, in the final third, what our team is going to do is to encourage dribbling. We already discussed that. They're also going to walk the ball into the box. Another important instruction here is to discourage long shots. You also want to play the crossing style to low crosses while discouraging long shots. That is going to encourage your attackers or your wingers to play those cutbacks or those square passes into the box for your striker to score a tap-in. Now, there are a few more instructions that are not listed here, so we're going to go over to all of the other instructions. And you can see that the tempo is set to much higher tempo. The passing is also shorter passing, and the time wasting is less often. Now, in games where you feel like you're wasting too many chances or you're rushing your chances, you can go ahead and reduce the tempo to just normal tempo or just higher tempo. that has kind of worked for me once in a while. But everything else, I tend to just leave them the way they are. It's only just the tempo that I've been tweaking once in a while, so I'm just going to leave that on much higher tempo. Go over to the out of possession instruction then. Starting with the front, what our front press normally do, they try to trap the opposition outside and force them to go wide, because we have a lot of wide players, like two wide. They have a winger and a fullback. So we try to press from the wide areas. We're also going to distribute, or we're also going to try to stop the goalkeeper distributing the ball short when we are in the attacking phase. When we don't win possession there and we get into the middle of the field, we're still going to try to trap them outside and still press relentlessly. We look at the pressing really soon. When we are in our own mid block, we don't really try to stop the crosses anyway. So let's look at all the instructions out of possession. You can see that the team is going to play with a high press. You're also going to play with a high defensive line. Much more often trigger press is what you want to go for. You're also going to turn on the counter pressing for your defensive transition. And for the attacking transition, you also want to turn on counter instruction. We're going to look at that. But the tackling, I didn't really see the need to get stuck in this sense or stay on feet. So I just left it on balance, because you notice that the internal player instructions, the players have already been asked to tackle harder. So there was no need to just turn it on here. And all the other two instructions is prevention of the goalkeeper distribution and of course pressing trap sent to outside. Now in possession, we're going to look at the attacking transition. Like I mentioned, counter attacking, really important that you actually turn it on. Playing for set pieces, sometimes you can turn this on if you have a good set piece routine. I didn't really have one. I'm using my default settings. I'm moving players around whenever I like. So I kind of just left it on default, keep the ball in play. Now it doesn't really matter. In case we get a corner, good for us. If it doesn't, I don't really force corners or force set pieces like that. So that is basically the system that has got us this far. And we do have a game coming up against Maidenhead in the playoff final. You do want to stick around for that game to see how it actually goes. Hopefully we get promoted into the next division. So just before we get into the game, we can talk about our team's promotion chances. And we somehow snuck into the playoffs. And even though we're having bad spell of form, I really hope that we choose the right position here. And let's just see. A strong finish to the season will help us win one more game to get us promoted. That actually got us a morale boost. I do hope we win against Maidenhead. Now, one more thing I wanted to mention before we jump into the game against Maidenhead. Let's just go into the team selection. The tactic actually has two variants: the balanced mentality variant and the ultimate attacking variant of the tactic. Attacking has been working for us so far, but towards the ending of the season, I had to switch to a balanced mentality, so we were not too exposed. But for this game against Maidenhead, I really want to start with a balanced mentality just to see how the game unfolds. And if we're doing so well, we could try to defend a bit better in the latter stage of the game. Hopefully. So let's just get into the game. So one thing I need to speak about is the opposition instructions. I sometimes use opposition instructions and sometimes I don't really use them. So it depends on the game. Like this game against Maidenhead in the cup final, I will start without opposition instructions and see how the game actually unfolds. And if it works out for us that we play that way, we can go ahead and try to secure the game that way. I don't really see the need to use opposition instructions right now. So here we are getting onto the pitch against Maidenhead. Maidenhead are in red and black, and we, Salisbury, are in white and black. So there's a handshake. Good luck, lad. This might be one of the last game. So there we are. Let me just pause the game here. You can see our back four, and then we hit the two defensive midfielders in here, and of course the front four. We already have Bray, which is our channel forward, slightly closer to the ball, I guess. But who is that person dressed in white? I don't actually know who that is. That's supposed to be my player. He tried to tackle. So we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 players on the pitch. Who is that one guy? I think he's lost. Cat and ball. Can we recover possession back? We're lucky in midfield. They're playing a 4-2-3-1 Maidenhead. So we might have to tweak our tactic for this game. Baswell just drifted through my defender there. My days. So they've got a corner. There's one player on the near post. Two on the near post actually. We've got two players tracking them now. There's a head of the way. Nobody's recovering the ball. Lovely clearance. There's our outlet winger. Hedges makes a run. He cannot be touched at this point. He cannot be touched. Who is in the box for him? Look how many players the AI already has defending the box. How is this even possible? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players. Oh my god. And we have like none in the box except this other one guy. I tried to fix this with the attacker being Hedges being the winger on the outlet and then the striker. But I mean, they have 7. I don't know what you can do with 7. We can't get 7 players that fast inside the box, but they got them back in anyway. Hedges lost it. Oh, he got a penalty. Yes, there we go. One arm up. Come on, Bray, you got this. Oh, Taylor, I know you'll score. You can't miss it. Makes no mistake, Taylor's put them one ahead. I wish I could praise my players because we have like 69% possession in this game. It's even drifting into 70 at some point. And for some reason, oh, hang on, I might be speaking too soon. Catamo. Oh, Moria scored 1-1. So they got in early. We have to do something about this guy, Josh Umera. The goal came from a throw. Could we have done anything about it? Mitchell. Out to Catamo. Plays it back. That pressing did not really work out for us. I really want to use touchline shouts right now, but they are not in Football Manager anymore. Because it really used to help me in situations like this when I not to just encourage my players or demand more. I can't really do anything. They've just conceded. We need to tell them something. But no, it's not working. Like, okay, there's a long pass to Warson. Nope, didn't get it. Sanyo got it. Davis. Yes, Revan. Out to Ellis. Yes, Hedges. Hedges is one of the best wingers I've ever managed in lower leagues. Bray, out to Kia. Ooh, couldn't get there. So at halftime, I've considered making changes. We are dominating in possession, but somehow Maidenhead has gotten their way back into the game. And they've also had like 9 chances, which is not really good. But again, it's a playoff final. I expected my opposition to be a tough opposition. So it's not been good enough so far. Everybody looks to be fired up. Let's go back to the tactics screen. And I want to do something about Kia getting out of the game. He's like a 2-star player. So I used to have Dari in that role. He has jumping reach and 6'4", so he might help us in set pieces. So let's just get Dari in and hopefully we can get something from set pieces. So for the last 15 minutes, I will change the tactic to the attacking variant. It's really the same tactic, to be honest. Nothing too different, just, okay, tracking outlets, tracking deep line forward. So yeah, the only thing that is different from the tactic is just the mentality being attacking. So the intensity is a bit really high over the top right now. And at that point, I might want to go ahead and consider applying the position instructions. So we have only 15 minutes to go. It could go terribly wrong. Hopefully, it could work out in our favor, but we have to do something to try to win the game. So that is my attempt to try and win the game. It's 1-1. It's close. We are dominating, but we're not scoring. And I might need to reduce the tempo as well, even though we're playing on an attacking mentality. So let's just go then and drop the tempo to standard and just leave it on confirm and then continue the second half like that. Okay, we already have a corner. That was quite quick. I hope it's not going to cost us. Headed away. Yes, Lee. Out to Hedges. Out to Lee. Finds Hedges again. He scores almost instantly. Okay, I like the tempo. It's not so quick. It's 2-1 now. We have 15 minutes to go or 14 minutes to go. Headed away before and Lee just went and recovered possession there. Square past the Hedges. Hedges and Lee really combined so well for this goal. How about that from Lee? Lovely risky pass to Hedges. And he just smashes it home. 2-1. Now we are playing attacking. I'm considering going to defensive right now, honestly. Because Maidenhead are going to come at us with everything that they have. Could it be 2 minutes? Oh no. 91.3. Oh my god. They cannot. No. No. Oh my god. Hedges. Can we get another goal, please? Hedges. Long the ball to Bray. Sangyodu. 3-1. We've done it. We've done it. I actually thought it was going to be a goal for Maidenhead, but it's a goal for us. We are getting promoted. Hedges is probably one of the best non-league wingers I've seen in Football Manager 2026. He has had so much joy this season, so much joy. Where Sanyalu went on to just finish that one home. 3-1. Attacking took us all the way. So in case you're struggling to get a goal or you're struggling to break through teams, you can't switch to the attacking mentality. And there we are. We have secured promotion into the next division, which is Vanarama National League. Yeah, the National League Premier itself, right? Okay, it's not Vanarama anymore. It's something else now. I think Enterprise. Congratulations, guys, on securing promotion. That is the conversation that we're going to have. Thanks for watching this video. If you do enjoy it, do let me know how the tactic works out for you. And for now, I'll see you in the next video. I didn't even get a trophy lift. Why didn't we get a trophy lift? We want promotion, right? There's supposed to be a trophy. Why did we get a trick video?